Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to show you some great new tech on how to install your headers, the fasteners, and other components to make this a painless, headache-free install. First, I want to go down history row for a second and show you guys just the evolution of the hardware that goes with your headers. For years and years, we have just basically put, a regular mild steel fastener like this on there. It's got a little flange built into the head. It's typically like a 7/16 or a 10 millimeter head on there. We just crank them down. We've got a 1/4 inch or 3/8 flange right here on the header, just a standard gasket, and we just hope for the best. Well, you know what? Headers have gotten a bad rap because of that hardware. So the evolution of the header fastener is basically starting with a 7/16 head and a 3/8 by 16 threaded bolt. And if you even start with a 1/4 inch fastener and you put this driver on there, you'll notice trying to start it on a Ford style header, there's just not a whole lot of room there. In fact, as you can see, I'm making contact with the primary right now, and I'm basically going to scar the side of the tube. From there, we progress on to a smaller headed fastener, and of course, it's got a nice flange on it. It's got a 10 millimeter socket, and it does fit a little better, but it still makes contact with the side of the tube. It's still a pain in your butt. And it gets even worse if you're trying to torque these down to a specific spec. Like I've said, for years we've dealt with the 7/16 and the 10 millimeter head as our options to mount our headers to our heads. Well, there's another new and exciting product, at least for me, because you know what? I like good tech. I like being headache free. I don't want to come back and deal with these headers again. And I don't like to be scared by people's experiences that say headers are bad. Headers are a pain in the butt. Let's get past that already. So here we go. We've got this brand new fastener James Duff offers now. It's an ARP fastener with a 2-part washer built into it. But here's the most exciting part of all. This comes with a 5/16 head. The socket diameter is actually smaller than the flange on the head itself. And that means that you can get this inside all the tight little spots in your header and get them torqued down to the exact spec. Now, the other thing that's really cool about this piece is because of the 2-part washer, it's the correct length for your heads. Now, some heads, especially aftermarket, have different depths of how far the bolt can go in. So you're sometimes in between, one size or the other. This does them all. So another great component. So really, there's like 4 amazing things about this. And the number 5, it comes already with anti-seize, so you can't beat it. It really is the best fastener for your headers. Now you're probably wondering, well, what's the catch? What's the downfall of a fastener like this? Well, you know what? I really can't give you too many downfalls. The fact that it's stainless and it goes into aluminum heads may be about the only one I can think of. But that's what this anti-seize is for. So definitely use the anti-seize no matter what head you're putting them in. And also remember that these are good for several uses. As long as you're not abusing them, they pretty much can come out and go back in as much as 4 or 5 times before you start worrying about this locking mechanism being able to do its job. I guess the only other catch that I could consider is if you try to use these as a normal fastener with normal gaskets, you may try to tighten them down more than you should because of the small head and the sockets that you may be using. You just want to be careful not to hurt the fastener or the tool by over tightening them. Now, there are a few of you that know from the evolution that we used an internal style locking washer that would typically go with the 7/16 head. That would be how they mount together, and you would use this to mount your headers to your heads. The other style, and this is what some people are trying to do to mimic the new 2-part washer ARP fastener, is they're buying these 2-part washers and then adding them to one of these 2 header bolts. Well, just keep in mind when you do that the size that you can readily buy is made for a 10 millimeter or a 3/8 stud. It's both. So it's kind of a universal locking washer. It makes it very loose around the flange. So you're not going to get really good engagement like you would if you get one that's actually designed to go with the fastener. Also keep in mind that this fastener here is also stainless like the rest of the bolt, where this one here is mild steel. Now for years, James Duff has offered this Stage 8 fastener for your headers, and it's a great fastener. It also comes in stainless, and it comes in 3 pieces, okay? So you're basically going to use these 3 pieces to lock this fastener into your header so they don't back out. Let me show you how that works. So first we're going to install the header bolt into the flange on the header, and what I want to show you is the bolt is going to stop somewhere naturally, and then you're going to have to make sure that this piece here goes on, and it's going to lock itself against the side of the tube. So you'll actually have to grind these down in some cases just because of where the head will naturally stop. Once you've got this piece ground down and fitted to the fastener, you're going to slide it over the head, and then you're going to have a snap ring like this, and it's going to snap on there and stop it from moving. And that's how that stops the bolt from spinning. So as you can see, being a 3-part design, there is some work that goes into installing these and making sure that they work correctly. Still an offering from James Duff, but if you do want to try a design that's just simpler in nature, and they're both available at dufftuff.com. Moving on from the fasteners, I want to dive into the tech on the gaskets. The gaskets are really important, especially for you guys running EFI when your O2 sensors are reading what oxygen is coming into the system. You don't want fresh oxygen coming into your engine and being read by the O2 sensors simply because you've got a poor quality header gasket. So here is just your run-of-the-mill header gasket right here that was taken off after ran, for 100 miles. As you can see, it didn't line up to the ports very well, and it was burning through the material and eventually was going to start causing leaks. Now, no leaks are actually shown on this because it wasn't there yet, but look at how close it got. Eventually these are going to leak. You'd probably hear it, but if you didn't, that's even worse because your O2 sensor knows about it. So you can get the standard gaskets that come with the headers that are supplied by James Duff, or what I like to do is upgrade to the Remflex gaskets. Remflex makes a high quality graphite gasket that will actually crush, and it will take up all of those little nooks and crannies that are, highs and lows that are basically making your header not seal tight to the head on your motor. So let me show you real quick. Remflex actually provides us what they call the crush test, which shows what this material can do once you've applied torque to the bolts. Basically just take this needle nose pliers, and as you see here, just from crushing it with my hand, it doesn't take much to make this material conform to the pliers, which is the same thing that it's doing when you're installing them on your heads. The other thing that's important to remember on these is they only take 20 foot-pounds. So it's really important that you use a foot-pound wrench, and I like to use one here made by Performance Tool. And of course, what's nice about this is it's small and it works with 3/8. So that way it can get into those tight areas in your engine bay. Keep in mind too, Remflex gaskets like James Duff are made in the USA. All right, and to round this out, there's a couple more things I want to show you that are going to help make your header and exhaust install pain-free. So since we're talking about exhaust and headers and all that stuff that applies, there are some new products that you might be interested in that James Duff is offering on their new website, dufftuff.com. And I want to show them to you real quick, like these tailpipes. These are modular, which means that they can come off and stay off if you're out wheeling, or you can go from a 65 degree to a 90 degree, which are offered both on the website. And you know what's great about these is you can mount them in 2 different ways. They come standard with a saddle clamp, or you can upgrade to a stainless steel band clamp. Both available online at dufftuff.com as well. One other important tip to make this better and easier for you is when using your band clamps, your tailpipes, and putting your exhaust together, exhaust paste, especially up there by your O2 sensor. It's really important to put this in to make sure you get a seal tight fit. You could weld everything together, but it's nice for maintenance to be able to pull everything apart, or just certain sections, so if you have to maintain or remove things from your Bronco. That rounds it out. Thanks everyone for watching, and go down below and check out the description. A ton of links are in there for you to get easy access. Don't forget to subscribe. Got a lot of great new content coming. We'll catch you guys next time.